Hi, and welcome back to this series on Google Drive. As you can see, I've already logged in and gone to my drive. Today we're going to look at folder and file management. So to start with, if you would like a new folder to organize yourself in Drive, you simply click New and the folder icon, and I'm going to call this one just Test because it's just for the purpose of this particular video. Within a second or two, it appears at the top. Now there are several ways to organize your information here. If I click on Name, it's going to resort things alphabetically by name, so Test would drop down on the list. If I click that again, it's going to do it but in reverse alphabetical order. Now as with on the computer, folders will always alphabetize above files. So let me click it one more time to put it in A to Z order, and you can see that my folders organize A to Z and then my files below them in the same way. Okay, I can also sort by last modified, and this is an extremely useful option, I find, because the things that I use most often or most recently appear at the top. So right now my test folder is back up at the top. Now, if I had wanted to move something into this folder, there are several options, and it would be very, very easy to do. I could either right-click on an item, pick Move To, and then work my way through my file structure. So this is my drive. If I click the arrow next to it, I can find the test folder in here. And if there was an additional folder in there, it would appear, and I could navigate my way down through my structure. And I could simply say Move Here. From this view, I can also use the opportunity to create a new folder at this level if I choose, and that would be using the new folder icon. So let me try that and say Test Inside Test. Okay, not a very good name, but one will use. Then when I say Move Here, that file has disappeared. But if I double click on Test, I find that that folder I created is indeed inside. And if I double click on that, the file is also inside. Now, there are other ways to move things around. So let's say I've got my untitled form down here. I could simply drag that and drop it on top of the folder. And there it is. Now, of course, if I'd wanted to get it inside this folder, I would have to do two steps. I would have to bring it down like this. And now it's there alongside my earlier file. If you want to move things up a level, you can right-click and use Move To. That'll work fine. But you can also open up the file structure on the left. And I can say that this untitled form really belongs right up at the root level of my drive, not in any folder at all, and just drag it across. And just as if you were working on a computer, the left menu is going to show you the folder structure, but not the individual files. So if I come to Drive, you can see that it lists out my folders, and it even lists out subfolders within folders if I choose. But I won't see the actual files listed here. If I want to see actual files, I'm going to have to click and view them on the right side of the screen. And let me collapse that. Okay, so ways to move files. Very simply, you can just drag them to where you want them to go. And you can drag multiple files at one time if you'd like. So let me show you that. I click on the first one. I depress my Shift key. I click on the last one in the list that I want. And now I can use either one of my options to move it. I can right-click and say Move To, or I can just drag them where I'd like them to go, be that in the same pane or over to the left pane. If I would like to select non-adjacent files, I can click the first one I want, hold down the Control key, or Command key on a Mac, and then skip around and select just the ones I want. Again, right-click Move To, or drag either to the left pane or somewhere else in the right pane. If I want to use those in combination, let's say that I want everything from untitled form to my proposal except for real junk. So the quickest way would be to select the first one, hold the Shift key down, click the last one, release the Shift key, hold the Control key down, and deselect that one. Okay, so as you can see, when Google Drive gives you a nice, robust environment to organize yourself, you can create folders within folders, you can move things around very, very easily. The one area we haven't looked at yet is Shared with Me. So this is a special area where files or folders that have been shared directly with you can be seen. Now, these can also be moved into your drive area. So a lot of times if they're individual or one-off files, I'll just leave them here. But most often, when somebody shares something with me that I need to use over a period of time, I wind up moving that into my drive so everything's organized neatly according to my organizational structure and in one place. So in order to do that, you would simply right-click on a file or a folder, say Add to my drive. Now, it's already added to my drive at the root level. If I want to position it or put it somewhere else at the time that I bring it in, I could say Organize. And now you can see that I can work my way through my structure in the same way that I did before and move it. Or I could simply quit after I moved it. So you can see that Move to my drive is no longer an option for this file because it's already been done. So if I come back to my drive, I'm going to find it right here. And of course, now I can move this as well. So I can either do it initially through the little Organize option, and depends on your preference. I find sometimes that window to be a little small and that interface to be a little awkward to use. So very often I'll just dump them in at this level and then move them from here. But that's totally up to you. And that's about all there is to organizing your space in Google Drive.